Number 3 is don't wait for it to feel right. Okay, your brain is made up of different areas, all right? The basal ganglia in your brain is responsible for the habit patterns. It's why you drive, it's how you, whatever you do during the day that's a force of habit, the basal ganglia is responsible for this. It gets you up at 4 in the morning. If you wake up at 4 in the morning every day, it's the same thing that gets you up. It is your habit making part of your brain. But there's another part of your brain, that's the prefrontal cortex. Now, the prefrontal cortex makes decisions. It is a decision-making device in your brain. Now, the thing you have to understand, though, is that when you make a decision that goes against your basal ganglia, it's not going to feel correct. It feels weird. Everything feels off. It's the habit of writing with your right hand and then taking a pen and putting it in your left feels very, very strange because you have the habit. Your basal ganglia is working on the habit and has always worked on the habit of you writing with your right hand. But if you switch it to your left, it's awkward, it's off, even if it's the right thing to do. That's what you have to know. If it's the right thing to do, it's not going to feel right when you've made a prefrontal cortex decision. So don't worry about it not feeling right. It's not going to feel right. You're going to feel a little off, but you are building new grooves. I'll tell you, it's a lot like a record. Those of you who ever, are old enough to remember record players and the whole thing. You had a record and you put it on the turntable and it would go around, and if it had a scratch, every time it went to that spot, it would skip. Your brain is like that. That's how habits work. You mar or scratch bad habits into your makeup, and all of a sudden, it skips every time it gets to that spot. Well, what the prefrontal cortex does in your decision making, it starts to make new grooves. And sometimes it's kind of hard to get those new grooves in, but once you got them, you can make smooth music and your record doesn't scratch anymore. I'm trying to tell you, it doesn't feel right, but you are doing right. Don't go by how it feels, go by what it does. Number 4 is to schedule breaks, rewards, and treats for yourself. You know what? I love a cheat day. When it's time, I'm eating healthy, and you do your thing, but you can't eat clean all the time. You start to feel deprived. You start to feel wore out. You start to feel horrible. And life is good. You know what I mean? Things are meant to be enjoyed. Everything in moderation. And when you've done good on whatever you are developing your self-discipline about, sometimes it's time to let it go. Sometimes you relax. Sometimes you have a piece of cake. And let me tell you something, especially when you're talking about really, really bad habits. If you have avoided alcohol for a long, long time, don't get another drink, okay? A drink is not a reward, okay? I'm saying do something else as a reward. You know what I mean? Go ahead and have a muffin or some ice cream, or go see that movie you always wanted to do, or see. There's a lot of rewards that don't necessarily constitute eating or drinking. Sometimes it's about, today I want to go see that movie I always wanted to see. I'm going to read that book I always wanted to read. In fact, I'm going to take the day off and I'm going to rest and relax because I've been doing really, really well. And you give yourself these rewards and treats and acknowledge your success. Acknowledge what you're doing and how you're doing it. And let me tell you something, it becomes a great thing because you can't, everybody needs compliments. Everybody needs a reward. So please, please schedule those rewards. When you've done well, that's what you have to do. Keep your reward system going and treat yourself to some good things. Don't give yourself some bad things as a reward for not doing bad things, because that's called binging. Binging is something you don't want. What you want to do is give yourself a reward completely all the way out of the world of the thing you're trying to develop, and it will come and you will see the results. The last key of the 5 keys to gaining self-discipline is to forgive yourself and move forward. Yes, forgive yourself. You're going to mess up. You're going to see something that you didn't mean to see. You're going to eat something you didn't mean to eat. You're going to overdo it. You're going to binge. You're going to mess up. You're going to fail. You are. Remember what that feels like. Remember, because failure really is only temporary if you don't take it as a loss. If you take it as a learning opportunity, it's only temporary. But it can only be permanent if you say you lose and you give up. That's the only way things can be permanent. Forgive yourself and move on. Move on. Practice forgetting any of the junk that you did, a mistake you did. Let me tell you, the day is short, and let me tell you, it's not a thing that you even have to remember. Just go on and keep continuing on the right path. When you mess up, start over. Start over right away. And I'm trying to tell you, you do that enough, you eventually don't mess up. It's kind of like a child who falls down every time he gets up to walk. Well, you know, he will fall down. That's just the nature of the beast. But let me tell you, as the time goes on, he learns not to fall. And you will too. You will too. But if you, just imagine if you were a kid and you fell down once and you just laid there. And you lay there forever. Well, guess what? It doesn't work. That is the same way you work. That's the same way even adults do. Sometimes you fall down, you miss the mark, and you just stay down there. But you can do it. You can do it. Hey, this is Terry Crews' YouTube channel. If you want more of this, just go ahead, click on the subscribe button. It's all good. We're coming back with more. And I'm here to encourage you, y'all. I'm here to tell you the truth because I've made all the mistakes, all of them. And I'm here to tell you that you can make it just like I made it. And I'm going on because this helps me too. You know what? You think I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me. And if you don't like it, go to somebody else's YouTube channel. Love you. Peace.